and welcome to Year 2. Can we just start by saying how proud and happy we are of all of your children. They've been off school for such an ever long time and already they've slotted back into school life with ease and confidence. We can honestly say that every one of your children are working hard and acting like Year 2 children after such a long time off school. We need to say well done to all of the children in Year 2. In front of you, you will see all of the staff that we're working with children in Year 2. The class teachers are Mrs Robson and Mrs Downing, and the teaching assistants are Mrs Curtin and Mrs Saxton. We would like to talk to you now about some of the routines and events that happen in Year 2. As you can see from the slide, PE happens each Friday. Can we please ask that your children come into school in their PE kits? If it's a warm day, it's suitable to come in shorts and t-shirts, but if it's a slightly chilly day or winter months, could children come in tracksuit bottoms, as often PE will happen outside on the yard or on the grass at the top of the bank. You can also see that reading books are sent home on a weekly basis. On a Monday, children will take home a free choice book, which could be either fiction or non-fiction. They do choose this book themselves from a wide selection of books in school. And this is for you to share with your child. If you could ask questions and talk about the pictures, that would be lovely, and also will help develop your children's reading. Could we ask that these books are returned to school on a Friday? On a Friday home time, children will take a level book to the current level that they're reading in school. Could we ask over the weekend that you share this book with your child, but do encourage the children to do as much of the reading as they can, and you just support the reading with them. Could this book be returned to school on the following Monday? As you can see, on a Tuesday from 2:30 till 3:30, we'll be holding a homework club. Can we just stress that this is a very important club, which we would expect all children to attend. In this club, we'll be doing lots of catching up of the work that the children have missed over the lockdown period. While your children were in Year 1, they would have undertaken a Year 1 phonic test, but due to the lockdown and the COVID, this obviously didn't happen. So Year 2 children will be taking the Year 1 phonic test in their Year 2 class. This will be done in the second part of the autumn term, heading towards December, so over the November-December period. If you have any questions you need to ask about the phonic test, please get in touch with either myself, Mrs Robson, or Mrs Downing, and we can answer the questions for you. As well as the phonics test, which the children missed while they were in Year 1, at the end of Year 2, all children will be sitting the end of Year 2 SAT tests. This will happen in May of 2021. Children will get lots and lots of practice and lots of experience of doing all of these papers. But as you can see on the slide in front of you, there are 2 reading papers, paper 1 and paper 2. There are 2 maths papers, which are arithmetic and a reasoning paper. And in the summer term of school, Mrs Downing and myself will be encouraging the children to do 6 pieces of longer writing. And this will take a few weeks, and we will judge those pieces of writing and grade those pieces of writing accordingly.
In front of you, you can see the 2 reading papers that the children will have to sit. One of them, paper 1, has pieces of text, a story or information on the top half of the page with questions underneath. The second paper is a reading booklet that is more like a magazine or newspaper with lots of writing on the page for the children to read, and then there is a separate answer booklet for them. This is an example of paper 1. You can see a little bit of the story with the questions relating to that part of the story on the page. The children can easily access each part of it. This is a page from the second paper. As you can see, there is much more reading to be done, and this booklet is around 10 to 12 pages long. It contains a story and then a non-fiction article or an information text for the children to read, and they read through this before answering the questions. They do have access to this when they get the questions. It's not a memory test. We are looking to see how well the children can read and then go back and look for the information or the answers to the questions. This is an example of the questions the children will be required to answer with the second reading paper. As you can see, the page number, the page they need to look at in the reading book is given, and this is why they have lots of practice, so that the children are aware that they don't need to look through the whole of the booklet. The page they need to go to is referenced for them, and this is something Mrs. Robertson and I will be pointing out to them and helping them to practice. Sometimes it's one page, but you can also see sometimes they need to look across a few pages to find the information they need. You can also see on this page the types of questions that the children are asked. Sometimes they need to write a whole sentence for the answer. Sometimes it's just a word or two. They might need to match up parts of the text. They might need to fill in a table. And again, all these different types of questions and how to answer them is something that Mrs. Robson and I will be practicing with the children in English lessons when we do comprehension activities and reading activities. In maths, there are two papers. One is arithmetic, which is your basic addition, subtraction, multiplication and division facts. And the second paper is a reasoning paper where the children are expected to be able to use their maths knowledge to solve problems or to apply their maths knowledge in a different way. So this page is an example of the arithmetic, and you can see there are some very simple addition and subtraction questions on here, along with some fractions and multiplication. So again, this is from the arithmetic test, the paper that the children get first, and you can see here a different range of questions. There's a lot of space underneath the questions, so the children, if they need to, have the opportunity to work out. Where there is squared paper, this is where we are expected for the children to show how they found the answer. So for example, we'll be showing them how to do two-digit addition using the columns, sort of tens and units addition. But if the children need to split up the division questions and draw little pictures, that choice is there for them in the spaces. This is an example of the questions the children will get on the reasoning paper. These are more wordy, they are word problems, and the children have to be able to work out which calculation they need to do to find the answer. Mrs. Robson and I can read these questions out to them, but the mathematical knowledge has to come from the children. They need to know what they need to do with the 5 apples and the 30 apples. Again, you can see more of the word problems from the reasoning paper. This, you can see, is where the children need to be able to use their ability and understanding of maths and number, as well as looking at other areas such as money, measures, time and shape. Similar to the reading paper, the children are asked to do different types of maths questions, so not just writing out a calculation. Sometimes they're asked to circle answers, match answers, sort out answers. And again, these are all things that Mrs. Robson and I will be going over with the children in class. They'll get lots of practice at doing these type of questions.
Thank you very much for taking the time to listen. That was a lot of information to take in. If you do have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to get in touch with any member of the Year 2 team, and we will try our best to answer any questions you have. Okay,